Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And today we have another series, part 7, I think this is, of the 1888 N162 Goodwin champion set, showing you the entire set. It's a #1 rated set. And I wanted to go through and show, 5 cards at a time, or by sport also, because a lot of these are done by sport. So let's take a look at, we're now in the second half here. So second half of the series is we finished the, as you can see, we finished the jockeys. And now we're in the lawn tennis. So we're going to show Beekman, Dwight, Sears, Taylor, and then we'll go into the Marksmen, and then from there we do Oarsmen and so on. So we're going to start first with the tennis players. And the tennis players, these are to me probably the most fascinating of all of these cards, because the men in this series, in the tennis series, you got to remember, tennis really started in this country probably 10, 15 years before these cards came out, 1870s or so. And it was brought over to this country by one of the guys that has the card in here, Dwight. And he is considered the founding father of American tennis. He went over to England and learned over there, it was lawn tennis, and brought the sport over here and the equipment over here, and that's how we started here. And tennis at the time was played by basically the rich, very rich, because they had to play on, and I'll start sharing the first one. They played on the lawns, and it had to be a manicured lawn, a completely manicured lawn. So how they started, I'll share a little more how they started on it, but this is the first one, which is Beekman. And Beekman has a very interesting, all of these guys have very interesting stories, because these were kind of the elite. They went to good schools and stuff. That's how tennis kind of started. And his family, Beekman's family, owned the financial firm Lapsley, Beekman and Company. When Beekman was young, his family moved to Newport, Rhode Island, and he left school at the age of 16 to become a stockbroker. And at 16, Beekman began his career as a stockbrokerage firm in New York. And at 21, Beekman became one of the youngest members of the New York Stock Exchange. And this was back, he was a member in 1887, and this is in 1886. So he was 20 years old here in this particular card. Now this is the 1888 N162, the Beekman card. And this is in a 6. This is the highest graded. I think this is the highest graded. There may be a 7 out there, but I don't think there is. That's the Beekman card in a 6. And I also have the Beekman card in the highest graded in a SGC, which is the other Beekman card in a 6. And the reason I hold on to this is, I'll show you a little bit later, because there's a couple more guys I need to upgrade. I'm trying to pick them up, and these could be good trade bait for whoever has the cards that I need. So if you, I'll keep talking about it, I'll show you the cards that I need. But anyway, this is the Beekman. And you see how beautiful the cards are. They wore like this uniform. And you can see that is Robert Livingston Beekman. These cards came in Old Judge Gypsy Queen cigarettes. And you see how the lawn tennis was done. This is kind of how the lawn looked, how they had to do it on a lawn. And you see a little wood racket, kind of small racket. And the shoes, I guess that's tennis shoes, the kind, I don't know. That's what they used back in the day. But the most interesting thing about him is that he went on to become the governor of Rhode Island. But before that, in 1886, he was the U.S. Open Grand Slam singles winner. So he turned pro in 1884, and he retired in 1890, which is when he became, he went on in 1891, he became the governor of Rhode Island. So some interesting facts about Beekman, and that is the Beekman card. Next on the list comes, I don't need that, look at the list. It's the main guy, Sears. Now this isn't Sears that did the department store Sears, but this is a cousin of, this is Richard Sears, Richard Dudley Sears. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this, but he learned to play tennis in 1879, and he played his first tournament at Beacon Park Open. He was the best tennis player of the era and considered one of the best tennis players ever. So in those days, you know, in the lawn tennis and played in those days, you know, he was undefeated in the U.S. championships. He won the first of his 7 consecutive titles in 1881 while he was a student at Harvard. So he was a U.S. champion for 7 years in a row. He won Wimbledon in 1884 in the singles. He won the Wimbledon doubles. In 1884, the Grand Slam doubles. He won the U.S. Open in doubles in 1882, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 1800s. And, you know, his career record was 43-8. And again, you know, he went on, he says, starting in the 1881 first round, he went on to an 18-match unbeaten streak that took him through the 1887 championships. So this guy was just incredible. And that record was not beaten until 1921 when Bill Tilden finally beat that record. And you know, he's considered really the best player back in those days. And I'll talk a little more about Sears and how he became a tennis player. And we'll take a good look at the Sears. Now this is, I talked about earlier, this is in a 3. This is one of the cards I'm looking to upgrade. And the issue with this upgrading is that the highest grade, this is the weird thing about these cards. A lot of them are the highest graded are 5 or 6s. The highest graded on this is a 5. But there is one 8 out there. There is an 8. And I bid on it back in 2015. I didn't get it. You know, it just went over $1,000. And back in those days, it was just way too much for me back. You know, that was almost 10 years ago. So I saw it at the Atlantic City National on the dealer's table. And I tried to buy it. He wanted, I think it was $3,000 for it. And I just didn't have the money at the time. I had bought other things at the National. And I hope to see it again at this National. I didn't see it, so still looking for that card. I know it's out there. It's a PSA 8 of Sears. If you have it, you know anybody else who has it, you know, let me know. I've got a lot of good trade bait as far as these cards. So that's Sears. He's considered the best tennis player overall, and he is inducted into the Tennis Hall of Fame. So that's, that's a little bit about him. But the other thing I wanted to talk about him was that his cousin, Sears' cousin, was the one that came with Dwight. And that's the next guy on the list, with Dwight, and literally started tennis. So Dwight is older than this Sears here. And Dwight is considered the founding father of American tennis. He won the first recorded tournament in the United States, and in the world, even before the first Wimbledon championship was even played. And he graduated again from Harvard. He traveled to Europe and saw the new sport of lawn tennis. He saw it being played. He brought the necessary equipment back home, and then he persuaded his uncle to mark out a court on his smooth front lawn so he could play a game with his cousin, Fred Sears. So that's how the story started. They're from Harvard. Apparently they had good money. They had nice lawns. And Dwight said to his uncle, Fred Sears, "Hey, let's build a lawn tennis thing on your lawn." And that's what they did. Him and his cousin, Fred Sears, ended up playing together. And this was again in the late 1870s, and the 1876 tournament was a neighborhood affair. It was played, by rounds, and basically it was James Dwight and Fred Sears Jr. Fred Sears, not this Sears, not this Sears. This is the cousin who played later with them. But in that beginning tournament, Dwight ended up beating Sears. And then by then, Dwight and Sears had taught the game to a number of people, including Richard Dudley Sears. That's Richard Dudley Sears. So Dwight and Fred Sears taught the game to other people, including Richard Dudley Sears, or Dick Sears, as he's called, another cousin, who went on to win the first 7 national singles championships. So that's who it is. But Dwight was the one who is the founding father of tennis. So that is Dwight. Now this card, for some reason, the highest graded is a 5. And that's it. There's nothing graded higher than a 5. And there are only 2 5s in existence. So I'm looking for one of those 5s for Dwight. There's only a few cards graded. There's only actually 25 cards of Dwight graded. And I think there's only like 3 or 4 graded higher than this 3, I mean. So it's a tough card to find. Highest is a 5. I'm looking for it. Anybody knows? Let me know. That's the Dwight. The next one on the list is Taylor. Now, this one is, to me, one of the most fascinating stories of these cards, because Taylor is Frederick Winslow Taylor. Now, you may not know who Frederick Winslow Taylor is, but I will say that, again, these guys went to the top schools, were the intellectuals, and he played tennis, and he also played golf. And the thing with him is that he's not known for really any of this, no sports at all. He's known for something else. But he did win in the 1880s. Taylor was an accomplished tennis and golf player, and he and Clarence Clark won the inaugural United States National Tennis Doubles Championship at Newport Casino in 1881. And then he also played tennis in the Olympics, and he played golf in the Olympics, and he actually finished fourth in golf. But he won the first doubles tournament, and he was was not a great tennis player, but if you look up Frederick Winslow Taylor, you'll see that this guy was an industrialist. He was one of the pioneers, and I probably need to do a whole video on this guy because he is just just read up on him. I don't want to take this whole video on Frederick Taylor. And so that's a little bit about him. And I also have, this is the highest graded in a 7. It's ungraded higher. And I also have the highest graded in a 6. And I hope to use these for some type of trade. But take a look at the artwork on these cards, just how beautiful they are. And Frederick Taylor, check it out. You could talk about him for a long, long time. He's one of really was the industrialized mechanical engineer, and he was the one really that invented a lot of the things, basically the assembly line, tons of other things that helped the United States become the modern country that it is today. So Frederick Taylor was also a tennis player, and a great tennis player at that. So check it out. Next is another one of the cool cards in the set, and that is Captain Bogart's, the Marksmen. And this is in a 5. There's a couple graded higher. I think there's a 6 and a 7. But as far as Captain Bogart's, this guy was really an army general, an army captain, and ended up being one of the top marksmen out there. And you could see all his awards and things that he has won. But he was known for being just one of the best shots. And there's I don't know much about the sport of of shooting, like clay shooting or shooting pigeons in those days. They would literally shoot at pigeons and see how many or birds, and see how many they could shoot down. Then they would do they would shoot at different areas, right? Different shots, clay, I guess, things. I'd have to read up a little more about it, but I forgot a lot about it. But he actually invented what was a round ball that they would shoot up, and then they would, boom, blow that thing up. So he has a lot of history as far as shooting and marksmen and stuff. He also was one of the ones that participated in the Barnum and Bailey in the circus back in those days, along with Buffalo Bill. So just interesting stuff on him, and there's so much interesting stuff in this set. And so he was just checking real quick here, give me a minute. Okay, he was a world champion trap shooter, as well as the inventor of the first practical glass ball trap. So it says trap shooting was with live pigeons first, but he invented the glass ball trap in trap shooting. And he was really the best one there. It says Bogardars and his sons went on to tour with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, and then he was a National Trap Shooting Hall of Fame, and he's the one that basically invented trap shooting. So that is Captain Bogardars, Marksman, trap shooter. Look at his awards in there. Cool stuff. So that is part 7 of the, we've got Taylor, and I'm telling you, read up on Taylor. That's really the guy I want to, he was just really an industrialist. And let me look up Taylor. We got a couple more minutes of this video, just one more minute. I'm going to just go on and just do a quick look up on Taylor. I'm just going to read you here. It says, since I went quickly by him, I'll go quick back. He was an American mechanical engineer. He was widely known for his methods to improve industrial efficiency. He was one of the first management consultants. In 1909, he summed up his efficiency techniques in the book, Principles of Scientific Management. Fellow of Academy of Management, voted the most influential management book in the 20th century. So he wrote the book on management. His pioneering work in applying engineering principles to the work done on the factory floor was instrumental in the creation and development of the branch of engineering that is now known as industrial engineering. Taylor made his name and most proud of his work in scientific management. However, he made his fortune patenting steel process improvements. As a result, scientific management is sometimes referred to as Taylorism. So that is Taylor, right from Wikipedia. So some famous guys: Dwight, founding father of tennis; Sears, the best tennis player ever. All these over here. And Brinkman, who went on to end up being the governor of Rhode Island, another great tennis player from the day. So those are the tennis players and the marksmen. And after this, we've got a few more, and we still got the boxers and the wrestlers and all that stuff to come in later episodes. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're getting something out of this. And I just wanted to share this beautiful set with everyone and the history that is in this set. And that's what attracted me to this particular set from 1888, from the 1800s. Just some incredible people, not just athletes, but incredible people that from the United States. And more to come. Thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you on the next one.